Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej, and today I am joined with a special guest. This is Patrick Sklar. Hey, Patrick.
Hi, Andre. I'm a special guest.
Hey, Patrick is you're a local player in my meta. We've
That's
been
true.
playing Netrunner together for a long time now.
Too long, I'd say.
Yeah, some have said that we played together in the top eight of regionals, and we landed really nicely in the middle of the regionals last time.
That's right. We were very comfortably in the middle, I'd
Yes,
say.
very comfortably in the middle. But no, welcome. This is BD Cosmos Summer Kit 2.
A very special episode of the Metropole Grid.
Yeah, so this is okay. The date is the 5th of September. Out in BD Cosmos, this is Laval again. This is the same location of the last summer kit we uploaded. I think there was 3 summer kits. I was lucky enough to film 2 of them. This was exciting. It's a lovely afternoon.
Yep.
The 5th of September was notable for being the date after Universe of Tomorrow was released in Canada.
It's true. The universe of tomorrow is tomorrow.
Yep. For that reason, I decided to try out the 2 new IDs.
Yep.
I walked into this with entirely untested decks, which it actually didn't go that poorly. I don't want to give a spoiler on anything. I had a lot of fun. I maybe recommend doing it if you really want those fems. Maybe don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could probably build a better deck and test it, but I don't know. So I'm playing on the left. I'm playing Chronos Protocol currently. On the right, we have Scott. Scott is playing some Geist, some good old criminal. This is really interesting. So Chronos Protocol is it's a cool ID, I think.
It's a pretty interesting idea, yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this one before, well, first the backstory. This was an ID that was voted on by Europe.
That's true.
By Europe as a whole. This was the plugged-in tour, unplugged tour. It was one of them. No, this is the Chronos
this is
Protocol
the Chronos
tour.
Protocol
Okay,
tour.
yeah. So the idea was if you entered this tournament, you could vote on one of the 2 IDs.
That's right. You had Jinteki's Chronos Protocol and you had HB's Chronos Protocol.
Right, and so the HB one did not obviously get the majority of the votes. It's a brain damage related ID. Right. I think the brain damage ID that has recently come out is actually a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I also find it more interesting.
Glad it went that way. So we have Chronos Protocol, the Jinteki one, which states the first time you do net damage, you get to grab the runner's grip out of their hand.
Rip it out of their poor fingers.
Yeah, and pick the card that you're throwing out for the first time per turn. So once on your turn, once on their turn.
It's very much a bully ID.
Oh my god, it's great. You have to install things you want. And the way that I built this deck is this is a rig denial deck.
Yeah.
Trash your breakers, trash your recursion, and eventually you will just be locked out. That's what I'm going for. It is a really aggressive thing. You have to do it early game or not at all.
I think that is the strategy to go for, though. I think that's the strategy they want you to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've introduced cards like Cortex Lock, which is useful late game if you can keep the runner from having a lot of icebreakers.
Yep.
And so I think that's a good card. And I mean, we'll see how you play it. I think we have a very similar idea on how to play Chronos Protocol.
So I have set up with some ice. I've made a remote, put a card behind it. Maybe it's an agenda, maybe it's an asset. We'll see. But Scott here, he's actually building quite aggressively.
Yes.
Now he does something kind of cool that was confusing me the first time when I was playing this game. But I'm realizing in retrospect what's going on. He will install something like Street Peddler. Yeah. And Street Peddler has a trash ability, which lets you install a card. And because you're Geist, whenever you use a trash ability, you can draw a card.
That's right.
So he will install Street Peddler and use it immediately, which just, it removes the surprise from the game. It's not as if he can run a piece of ice and then produce a breaker I wasn't expecting. But he's
in Geist,
building.
It helps you, it accelerates you a lot.
Yeah.
You sort of draw 3 cards with the Street Peddler, and you draw another card when you use it.
Like, he just gets up incredibly quickly. And he needs to. It looks like there I have a melange campaign hanging out behind one piece of ice.
And he needs to go trash that.
He needs to trash that. Now, Jinteki has some scary ice.
Yeah.
It could be a Cortex Lock. Anything that does at least 1 net damage is sufficiently a problem. So it looks like he's going to special order for that fairy and maybe
that was the right idea
there. Yeah, fairy is really good. I'll give a bit of, it's not that much of a surprise, but I'm running Grail. I think Grail is maybe a nice fit for this idea.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So the fairy actually, I think that's maybe a Galahad in front of the Merlin. That fairy is useless. It's the right call a lot of the times against Jinteki, but
He's made the best decision, but it's probably not going to pay out for him.
yeah. So he is going to need at least all his breakers before he can get into something for sure. And let's see.
Which you will do everything to prevent.
Yeah. So there we go. We have another killer. If I'm playing Rig Denial and a criminal sits across the table from me, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Criminal usually has a set amount of breakers, not a lot of recursion. Oh, actually here. That's an early EMP. An early EMP is a really strong card in Chronos Protocol because you get to choose which card you're going to trash. I see 3 breakers. Looks like that's going to be a fractor in the bin. For 2 credits, seeing their hand and trashing a card is nuts.
Seeing the hand on its own is fantastic in Netrunner.
So good. If I saw an inside job, if I saw an account siphon,
you don't have to trash it. You can just play around it.
Yes,
instead.
in theory you could. Trashing account siphon, seems nice. But yeah, you can just play around it. So he's immediately going to use the clone chip to pull the spike in, and this is what I was talking before. There's no like surprise. Wait for maybe I'm possibly going to need it. He just wants cards fast. He's drawing up when he's doing that, and that's really cool.
It's a clickless draw. So
yeah, I kind of like that a lot. At the beginning of your turn, maybe you could really use that. So there we have. We do have the. The spike. He is missing decoder, so if he does find that Merlin, there is Yaguras in this deck. Also, that's going to be pretty annoying. He does need to find everything really fast, and another Shiv is gonna help.
He can now get through Cortex locks because those breaking and entering breakers get +1 strength for every icebreaker. He's got 4 right now.
Yep, Fairy could have done it for 2 credits, but going through for free and a card draw is totally something worth doing. I'm just gonna sit on that melange. I'm just gonna keep mining that helium 3, and you gotta contest that, or it's gonna be just gonna get out of control. You do have a Rex. That's a full suite.
Yeah, he does have his full suite out there.
And you know how quick that was for a criminal? That's surprising. And sorry, he's gonna make a run. Let's see what this is. This is the first time he's gonna figure out what's going on in here, and that is Grail. That's a Merlin. He can break through that. The thing is, with 3 subroutines added, an end the run, and another 2 net damage, that is going to take 2 tokens off the Rex.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the perfect number. And I think Scott's going to think about this. Whether
he could just take 1 off and let the run end.
Yes, and then I remind him, hey, I'm playing Chronos Protocol. 2 net damage is going to be slightly worse than you think it is. The first one you get a pick, and the second one does become random, but man, that's half of a dog done. That's going to be really rough. And he has to continue. If that's another Merlin, it's going to be a full thing. But hey, that's another Galahad. That's a spike. And that's 1 spike down, 1 clone chip down. This is the kind of fight that I have to keep track of in my head.
Yeah. And you, of course, get to draw a card from using spike.
Yeah, not too bad. The melange is going to be trashed for free with the Desperado, so that's pretty good.
You are still pretty wealthy.
Yeah. Now, if I do have an early EMP, the only downside to drawing while running, especially if you run last click, is that if I nearly EMP, I get the best selection.
That's true.
You basically draw up so I can destroy the nicest thing that you didn't have time to play, which is totally worth it. Looks like I have another melange in hand, but hey, that's an early EMP. A run was made, and you're going to pay for that.
Yep.
And throw the Rex. Hey, Siphon, I don't actually mind. That might speak a bit to of what kind of ice I have in front of HQ. Actually, that probably speaks more to the fact that I have a lot of money.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Not that much money. It's not going to ruin you. It'll help him a little, but for the time being.
So it looks like we are going to try the Siphon. And at 1 ice, that's a Galahad. That's just enough to end the run. And probably someone's going to get zapped. So we have another end the run. There's no point to that. But we have a Merlin, so 2 damage. 1 is going to be chosen, and 1 of them is going to be random. So that's the Levi gone. And that's a really good card to get rid of.
Absolutely.
So now that the Levi is gone, same old thing, next target. Eventually, a deck, you'll run out of a deck.
I think you were making the right decisions to trash the icebreakers, even when you saw Levi in hand.
Yeah,
because I think I instinctively probably would have trashed the Levi first, but I think it's smarter to destroy the icebreakers.
I also entertained the idea of targeting the Plastic Carapace. There's no meat damage in this deck, but doing that would...
Netrunner is a mind game.
Yeah, It's a cool thing to do, I think.
That would have messed with him so much, and I would have been so impressed.
I decided against it. I had some other good targets. If the other targets were mediocre, I might have considered it for fun at least.
It would be worth it to watch him sweat.
Yeah. And something else I realized when playing against Geist, specifically with actually here there's a clone chip, and it's going to be again popped immediately, probably for a fractor. You want to make sure you have that, and that's card draw. Yeah, maybe you lose the sense of surprise, but card draw is card draw. That's really good. So sorry, the one really nasty ice against Geist is Cortex Lock.
Yeah,
because it does damage based off of unused MU,
and he's Geist have a lot.
Wants to put all of his breakers up in the cloud. So sometimes he'll have all the unused MU, and it becomes a disgusting amount of net damage.
Yep.
And with that Dyson mem chip, he is looking like his breakers are up in the cloud.
As a Geist player, the scariest thing I can see is a Marcus Batty and Cortex Lock.
Yeah.
combo.
Oh, it's rough. And this deck definitely does have Marcus Batty.
I'm sure it does.
Marcus Batty into just about
any of these cards.
Yeah, any of these cards. Specifically, if you can land a Lancelot, that's trash a program, then you hit the Lancelot with the program. That's the only downside, I think, to trashing a clone chip right away, is that you can't, say, recur killer if you need it immediately. He does have a lot of killers, so that's probably not the big
That's true.
deal.
He has Fairy and Shiv.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop my Jackson right away. 7 credits is enough to scare me. Now, the shards are a trash ability, so they might actually be a nice include. So I'm going to actually try and play around that. I don't think he's running any of them, but that's not the kind of risk you want to take. I'm pretty comfortable with
No, that's smart. A Hades shard would be pretty demoralizing.
Oh, it would be awful.
And you might see it in a Geist deck because it has an added benefit.
Yeah, it's not the worst. So something else is in that remote. It doesn't seem to be an agenda. We have the first crowbar out. That is the decoder. If you haven't seen all these cloud breakers, I think people refer to them as the break and enter suite. I'm okay with that.
I like that.
Seems elegant. They're all 0 to 1 cost. They break 3 subroutines, which is actually really ideal against these Grail Ice. At the worst,
it's perfect against Grail Ice.
Fantastic. However, the only caveat is that their strength is the amount of icebreakers you have installed.
That's right.
So right now there's a lot of icebreakers. So each of these things I think is 5 strength, which is 6 strength. I see 6. Yeah. So that's pretty much, you're good.
Yeah. But that'll fluctuate as the game goes on.
It does. It can go up and down easily during a run, which is something you have to kind of take into account, which I love. I think that's a really fun part of using this breaker suite.
I like the interaction of theme as well. These are all simple machines they have to put weight behind.
Then it breaks and you have to go buy a new one.
Exactly.
It's okay. It's Geist.
I buy the cheapest crowbars.
Yeah. So, sorry, I was trying to say this before. When I'm playing Chronos Protocol or any denial deck, and you sit across from a criminal, generally, it's great. Criminal, you can get rid of their breakers. They can't recur them. They don't have many. Geist is the absolute opposite.
Exactly.
This is such a battle of attrition. Every time one of those disposable breakers gets broken, every time a same old thing goes into the bin, you have to keep track of this. Because there's only so many spikes, only so many crowbars, shivs, fairies, and I still haven't seen any any reusable breakers, truly reusable breakers. There seems to be.
Cerberus doesn't count, of course.
Yeah, Cerberus not entirely. Fairy, of course not. Based on the fact that he does have a Fairy and does have a Cerberus, it looks like he probably might have an Aurora, even a Crowder if he has the influence. Because you do need a backup plan. It looks like I'm going to res a Melange in that server. That's just been hanging out there for a while. I think I've built my board state to a point where I just want to sit back and make some money. And he knows if he goes into there, that's going to tax his breakers. You just can't run that server too often.
Yeah.
The HQ interface also is that's always a really brave choice when playing against Jinteki.
Yeah, because you're probably going to see a lot of shocks in Chronos Protocol, maybe a lot of snares too.
Snares I'm not sure. I'll whether or not I'm running snares, I'll let that up to be a surprise. I seem to have the money for snare. It actually is pretty great.
Then again, he knows at least some of your hand is always going to be ice.
Yes.
Because you're playing Grail, so maybe he feels safe.
Yeah, so that's also a good thing and a bad thing for me. Running HQ is safer. However, if you make a run on HQ, you know you're probably going to see 1 or 2 Grail Ice, and it makes the runs less valuable. Looks like with another crowbar, he's not checking that server. No, that was just me. That's okay. I'm going to trash that. trash the melange, put something in, and advance it.
Cool.
All right. So could be an Issei.
It could be an Issei.
It could be one of them NAPD.
Maybe.
Also, he doesn't have the money for it. Pretty safe.
He would. With the Desperado, he'd get the money.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, Desperado. Yeah. I've actually ran into this problem during this game. You'll see many times where Scott here will make a run on a server and break everything for free, and then access, and then Desperado will fire, and he'll be able to trash an upgrade or a Jackson or something that I thought there'd be no way around it. Breaking for no credits is obviously really great. Especially if you've played Faust, you understand what it's like.
It's a very powerful ability that we're seeing a lot of in Netrunner now.
Yep. Looks like he's going to go check, very economical. He's going to use an inside job through the Eli. That's going to save him a breaker or not 2 clicks. And he's going to have to run through 3 subroutine Grail Ice. The first is the Merlin, which is going to get Crowbarred and Crescentus. Yo, Crescentus is such a bully of a card.
It doesn't mean card. You've got the money to survive it, but it's a mean card.
But if you don't have strong, economic, if you're not in a really good situation, rezzing a toll booth for it to be immediately de-rezzed, you don't want to do it. Even rezzing like a 4 cost dice,
you're losing 4 credits, and he's even getting card. It has extra value for him. I'm glad to see Crescentus getting more play.
It's really good. You can just install it, and
that's right.
The corp now understands. Reconsiders rezzing strong big eyes, expensive eyes.
It wasn't always that popular. Oh, it was a medical breakthrough.
Hey, medical breakthrough. This is a cool card. Man, I really like this card. Because this is the only agenda, I think, that gets easier to score the later the game goes. The fact that he stole that 2-pointer, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Because now I have a one of these never advanced 3 for 2s, and eventually a 2 for 2, which that's the only 2 for 2 in the game.
Yep. His agenda, you don't mind seeing him take.
Yeah, especially early game, you lose one off the top of R&D. Okay, I'm fine. I'm a bit stronger. Looks like I'm going to put another piece of ice on their remote server and put something in there. I believe that is an agenda. And the idea is I can drag the runner through this server so many times, eventually he'll be taxed out of breakers. And I hope I can nearly EMP those same old things. The Levi's already gone.
Yeah, he's already used 2 clone chips, right? Oh, but he has a corroder.
That's actually the worst thing you possibly could have installed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was hoping that wasn't the reality. But that's really, really bad. 3 Galahads I have for sure. There's Eli's, which is not that good. It's pretty good actually against Groder. And a Dirty Laundry into Archives is going to see Zap. That's a shock.
It's a shock. You get to pick something to lose.
Okay. Sneak Door. Yeah. I don't want to deal with that. That's one of the great things about Geist is with all your breakers in the cloud, you have the
room for Sneak Door. Sneak Door is not always easy to do with most.
Nope. I ask really nicely if I can see his hand again because I have a very poor memory.
He was such a gentleman.
Very, very kind. I'm also running the current targeted marketing.
That's a very interesting choice for this deck. I like that a lot.
You can see, obviously, you get to see the grip of the runner. I just drew the targeted marketing. I think that's why I asked to see his hand again. But you get to see the grip of the runner, so you can just say one of the cards in the grip, and you know for sure it will be played.
That's right. Usually when you have that card, you're guessing as to, this guy's probably playing Account Siphon, so I'll say Account Siphon. But now you can actually say, I see you have an Account Siphon.
And this helps with the rig denial. Just don't install your lady, and I'll score behind a Galahad. I do go ahead and score that 3 for 2 medical breakthrough. That's really good. That's very simple. I think I might have fed out the first one just so I had the second one in hand so I could get it out really easily. Another Crescendos comes out, so that's actually pretty good. The Merlin now becomes 18 credits to get it up for like 1 time. If I have to res it 3 times, that's rough. But I choose not to play that targeted marketing. Clone Chip's going to come out. Count the MU. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're good. Sneak Door. It's got to be Sneak Door. Yep. So now we can hammer on HQ for a bit. And with Desperado, even if you're not accessing anything of worth, that's really good. That's a credit.
And a little bit of information.
Yeah, information's really good. You're going to find Grail Ice. I guess that's unavoidable. It may be a shock, worst comes to worst. I do have a Future Perfect in my hand.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yep, so that's going to be tense for me. I want to plug that hole as soon as possible.
Nope, too late.
That's maybe too late. Hey, Future Perfect, we play a side game. If I win, things are good. and he'll probably come in again. If I lose, I go 2. I enjoy side games a lot.
Me too.
I really like them.
I know so many people dislike them, but I really like what they do to the game.
They do a lot. I think
it's such a Netrunner mechanic too.
It's a really fun, just like, I don't know. I can explain a bit how I play my side games. The first one, I almost always go 2. Nobody goes 2 on the first one. That'd be crazy. He sees the targeting marketing, and that's useless. And he's going to try and find the future perfect. 1 in 4. Can he do it? That's a Merlin. So he knows 4 cards in my HQ.
Yeah. I like the side games are in Jinteki.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they could be in anyone else anyway, but Jinteki traditionally had the poorest economy. So giving them the cards that could end runs or do things without relying on having a huge credit advantage over the runner, I think that was a really smart idea.
Right.
And as annoying as Caprice is to see every time, I'm happy she exists.
Yeah, she's cool. There was an interview recently with Lucas Litzinger, who's a designer of Netrunner. Well, I think he might have resigned at the point. Well, he's stepping down, I think, for a bit. But he's a cool dude. And he was talking about how they wanted to make Caprice, because they needed Netrunner to come down to something more than just, does the runner have money and breakers I can get into anywhere? And I agree. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It does. There is some excitement. Yeah. So I'm going to plug in that sneak door. We got to put something over archives.
Now, he's managed to install a same old thing. So I'm assuming Levy is going to come up soon.
Right. And then he plays the account siphon. He's going to be tagged after this. Mm-hmm. If this lands, he's going to either have to clear the tags or use the same old thing. Right. Because I don't have any ways to tag the runner on my terms. So as soon as the same old thing is installed, it is safe. And I can't threaten it. So the Levi is for sure going to happen. Looks like the count siphon is going to land. It's going to be a full siphon, taking 5 off me, 10 to the runner. That's a 15 credit swing and 2 tags. So he has 2 cards in hand, an RDI, but it looks like the last 2 clicks is going to be a same old thing, which technically draws a card.
That's true.
Yeah.
Useless with Levy, but technically...
Useless with Levy, but it's all right.
If you're redoing a legwork or a Maker's Eye, it's going to draw you a little card.
I guess you could sure gamble for 4 credits in a card for 2 clicks. It's 1 for the install, obviously, but it's not that... It's the best set of anybody else you could do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it, but yeah, you could do it. I'm not saying you couldn't do it.
Right.
No one's going to stop you. There's nothing in the rules that say
don't do
a giraffe can't place or gamble off on the same old thing.
It looks like also he's going to be floating these tags. I've given him no reason not to. Maybe that's my problem.
He's clearly running pretty resource light.
Yeah.
And trashing his resource immediately anyway, so.
So that's quite all right. I am massively flooded. I have 2 of targeted marketing. I don't have a lot of money anymore. And I have a lot of ice that isn't rezzed. I also have a lot of these expensive... Oh, looks, I'm going to advance score. The 2 for 2 medical breakthrough. That's awesome. I always feel really good scoring that.
That's very good.
Yep. And now we're back. We have a full deck to go through. That is a whole bunch more of this break and enter stuff I have to deal with.
He didn't get many uses out of his breaking and entering sweep before he levied, though.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Not too many runs.
Yeah, this is going to really limit the amount of recursion he has. He wasted that dog, the Rex. It's wasted. 4 of those break and enter things have been wasted, and it looks like he's going to just poke R&D. I mean, sorry, HQ. Now, he doesn't use the sneak door. He actually just goes straight through it the normal, the regular way. Oh, I guess it was a dirty laundry, so that makes sense. And it looks like he's going to find 2 cards that he already knew to be there.
Knows about those.
So he's looking for that future perfect. There's at least 1 in hand. There might be 2 in hand. I think I drew something else.
But you're right. He does know there's definitely 1 in there.
Yeah, there's 2 in there.
Yeah, there's 2.
It's really rough. I do have an ice to protect that. I do have ice on R&D. I think the most expensive ice in this deck is the Merlin. Everything else is about 2 credits. I think there's a lot of Yagura, Cortex Lock, Galahad. Yeah. Lancelot is 4 credits. I don't think there's much more than that. Eli?
Not just 3. Yeah, so it's a cheap ice deck.
Right. So being low is not the worst. Also, being low is good against criminal.
For sure.
Can't be siphoned.
Yeah, it's not as tempting. Then again, if you're hovering around 5 or 6, then it's very tempting. Yeah.
So I'm at 6, which is the siphon amount, and I'm going to dump all that money into the Lancelot. Yeah. Lancelot is breakable. He either has the Shiv or the Fairy. Looks like he's going to Shiv through that for a card draw. And he has to also go through the Galahad. So another really good thing, a reason why you'd want to siphon is that you can continue to run HQ to go find that future perfect. And if I have no money to spend, it just costs 1 credit to steal.
That's a good point. When you're down to 0 credits, you
Also for Marcus Betty, it falls apart.
So he just took your 2 credits.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a bit of a misplay there. I believe I said, when I was talking to Scott, I said, hey, do you want to siphon for 4? And I think he thought I had 4 credits. I actually had 2. I meant to gain 4, but he actually gained 8 credits from that.
Okay. Because
he actually siphoned off 4 and said, it doesn't make that much of a difference. I don't think it actually comes down to the money in this game, so it's not that big of a deal. So it looks like
we're just calling him out on
YouTube.
No,
I think people will notice this stuff and maybe say something in the comments. And hey, I like when people comment, so
for that. And you've got to get ahead of the comments anyway. We're okay with Scott doing this.
Yeah. So that's all right.
No one be mean to Scott. He's nice.
No, yeah, he's a great guy. So he's with 2 credits. He's gonna run that R&D. That's a Yagura for 1 credit. What a lovely piece of ice. I know there's no parasite in this deck. That's the downside to 0 cost ice. But for 1 credit, I get to use a crowbar. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off. Unless,
well, it does fall through. He does steal a house of knives, but that's okay.
He doesn't have multi-access on R&D. I don't think I've seen anything that's.
He had an RDI.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, it went back through the Levi. He didn't install it, but that's okay. So those runs don't cost money. He's gaining a credit. He drew a card also. That's really efficient. He's going to run out of breakers, but he's going to do it again. He's going to clone chip out the crowbar. Oh, also another thing. I think he forgets to pay for this crowbar, maybe once or twice. That's another credit. Sorry. But he X's again for free and a card draw.
Yep.
He spends the Desperado credit trashing the Marcus Batty. That's huge.
Yeah.
Marcus Batty could ruin him.
That's right, because you have no control. Marcus Batty just takes control away from the runner.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm down for that, especially trying to trash his stuff. He does install the 3rd clone chip. That's it. That's 3 clone chips already in the top maybe 15 cards. I am going to put an upgrade on R&D. I believe that to be a Hokusai grid, which is...
That's how you draw the Hokusai. So, yeah.
That upgrade, I wish I put a 3rd copy in this deck. That is
a solid
guaranteed net damage. Yeah. That's phenomenal. There's very other few cards like that. Another crowbar down. So, hey, 1 crowbar left. 2 clone chips to go through the Yagura.
He's really counting on hitting some agendas here.
Yep. Looks like I'm not going to res. I think he's given up on the future perfect too. But I'm going to res that Hokusai grid. So that's 1 net damage. That's 4 to trash, which is pretty annoying.
Yep.
It's only 3 with a Desperado, but still. I get to see his hand, which I haven't seen in a while, and get rid of something. I think it's this fairy, probably. I think the spike.
Yeah.
He has a Corroder. The spike is kind of a lost battle.
That's a good point.
Same old thing. It's not that good anymore. It looks like it's going to be the fairy. Bank job also not that good. So you get access the grid first. It looks like he'll trash that. You can't have that sticking around for too long. And top card, that's a Lancelot. It's more Grail. Good for me.
Now, if only you had money.
Yeah, you kind of need money. But again, the Yagura is doing work.
The Yagura is doing work for very little money.
Yeah, I have most of my servers actually set up. I just don't have money to advance. Yeah. And he can siphon, but also...
I'm surprised he isn't using Crescentis more.
Yeah, well, the thing is... Well, I think he might use it right now. I would only use Crescentis on Lancelot or... not Galahad. You don't want Lancelot Galahad. It looks like, he's going to Crescentis that Lancelot. So, again, that's huge. It saves him breakers. I don't have the money to res that. But I think the scariest thing here... Oh, hey, Marcus Batty.
So you can bet 1 or 2.
Yeah.
1 or 0.
1 or 0. So he was going to be trashed anyways. You might as well use him.
Might as well.
Even if I spend 0 and he spends 1, that's the same outcome, but I get to play a game. Let's see what he does. I think he's going to bet 1. Oh, ooh. Okay, well, I made the right call.
Yeah.
That's good. And it looks like I'm just going to end the run. I could have done 2 net damage, but I actually don't want him to get in because now I have no credits and there's a future perfect in hand. That actually 1 bet was pretty risky in retrospect. That was incredibly risky. I probably shouldn't have done that, but maybe that's why I did it.
And that's why you did it, because he knew that he would be crazy to spend that 1.
Yeah. So that's good.
Or he'd be so good at Netrunner that he would spend 1 credit.
I think that's my big concern now at this point is make sure you have 2 credits, even 3 credits, because future perfect games are going to happen.
Yeah.
Do I just click for credits? Man, that's rough. Yeah, I'm going to click for credits. I might have actually dumped the Future Perfect in archives. I think there might be 2 shocks in there, at least one.
That
And a piece of ice.
dissuades him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'll check that repeatedly.
Well, apparently not. He's making a sneak door run.
Yeah, so he's going to run a sneak door. I do have a piece of ice there. You can actually tell which piece of ice that is based off of my Grail play. Have you realized something?
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
I stopped showing an extra Galahad.
I did see the Galahad disappear. Okay, I wasn't paying close enough attention.
So if you can piece that together, that's definitely a Galahad off the fact that now I'm only showing one piece of Grail. I didn't throw out a Galahad.
Nice.
So that's 3 credits to break. 2 credits with the Desperado. That's technically a tax. Yeah, I don't know, but that's fine. It looks like we're gonna hammer R&D again, and this is getting really bad. To get single accesses, he's destroying his rig, which is the point. But
you're right. This really is a war of attrition.
It's going to be a long one, and that's a Cortex lock. With that Crescentus gone now, it's actually going to do a meager amount of work. I think it's 1 net damage. Let's do the count. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 out of 6. So do you break for 1 net damage? It depends what's in hand. Yeah, looks like it's going to fire. So 4 cards in hand. I think that's an easy choice.
Yeah.
Don't want that. And I think access.
I think he made an okay decision taking that 1 damage.
Yeah, what was in his hand wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, and he's only got the fairy. Only got 2 clone chips left now.
Right, and all the shivs are gone, or maybe 1 shiv left. And it looks like he's going to run. This is not a full side game. If we play a side game, because I res the Cortex lock, that actually might be a problem. Looks like he's going to see that targeted marketing and a data mine. Fantastic. Data mine's cool in this deck.
Yeah. I'm glad to see new IDs making old cards fun again.
Yeah, fun and exciting.
I haven't seen that a lot since Core. And
people get to see old stuff and their face lights up again. Oh, this is bad. Okay, hey, Future Perfect.
Hey, it won't be the game.
It won't be the game, but there's a 50% chance. How do I go? Do we go 1-1? Okay. So, hey, that does something good that alleviates HQ pressure.
That is so positive.
Yeah. Let's keep positive here. Because
you have such a sunny outlook on life. It's wonderful.
As long as that was in HQ, he was going to continue to hammer on HQ because he knew it was there.
Yeah. Here's another positive. Scott enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. I think he was happy. He's now at 6 points.
Yep.
This is definitely game point. There is 3 House of Knives in this deck. A single R&D axis could be the entire game. He is getting low on breakers. At this point, he's not using his clone chips immediately. I say that, and he uses his clone chip immediately.
Yes. That's just good reporting right here.
Yeah, and he's going to pop the crowbar. I think he forgets to pay for that one. Oh, this is an R&D access. This could easily be the game.
It might be.
It looks like that's another net damage from Cortex Lock if he doesn't want to deal with that. It looks like he's going to actually ferry that one for 2 credits.
Yeah, maybe he drew something he liked.
Oh, you don't draw from ferry. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, totally. Ferry through that, get a credit for Desperado, single axis, and Shock.
Nice.
Been really good to me, Shock. I like that card, actually. I kind of like it more than Snare in a lot of ways. Maybe I value money, but Count Siphon, down the drain, that special order I don't think is going to do a lot of work at this point.
No.
And do you trash a Shock? Scott does.
I guess he does. I mean, he's got money and doesn't need a lot of it.
Do you trash Shocks?
No, never.
Really? Man, I think with HQ interface you have to. Because you're going to see it again.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good player. This is a decision a bad player would make.
That's I don't know. That's a sneak door. He's going to see those same 2 cards again. That must be frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
I think you'd give up at this point, right? I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, he should just resign.
But like, you got all this. You spent all this time and money setting up this HQ pressure, and you just got to use it. You want to use it, right?
Yep.
So let's see. Something's been hanging out of that remote, huh? I don't remember what that is.
Maybe Jackson? I haven't seen many of your Jacksons.
I don't think it's a Jack. Yeah, you haven't seen many Jacksons. That's true. Looks like I drawn interns. Nothing else in hand. So you know what? This might be the time to spring the thing.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Yeah. Advance. That's a House of Knives.
Nice.
Hey, that's been in there forever. I didn't want to score that because if I did, I would have no money.
You'd have no money.
And then the Future Perfect was as good as gone.
Yeah.
So as soon as the Future Perfect was stolen, positive, again with the positives.
Yeah.
This allowed me
yeah.
to score this agenda.
Right. By taking away your options,
Yes.
it made one option shine brighter. Like you're at Baskin Robbins, you don't know what flavor to choose. If they've only got vanilla, you'll be happy with vanilla.
Yeah, I think choice is actually a really bad thing inherently.
It's
it
terribly
just stresses you out.
Free will.
Oh, rough.
Don't even get me started.
It looks like he's actually special ordering. What could he want? Okay, that makes sense. He wants to go for R&D. He needs to get in there without using his breakers. He also knows he probably needs that to ever contest the remote, because there is going to be we know there's a Merlin hanging out second too deep down in there.
Right.
All right, so we've reached a cool point. We're both technically on game point in some weird way. Actually, I don't think I'm running any more 2-pointers. So the pressure is on. It's going to be hard to score in their remote, but if I can continue to drop crazy stuff in their remote, he's going to have to check it regularly.
Yep. Yeah, I will.
And that's good, because that's going to use up his breakers. Running HQ and R&D is not as taxing as I like it. And we have a Jackson Howard here. I think that's the beginning of me taxing out his breakers. But actually, I might have a better idea. Hey, interns.
That's not a bad idea at all.
It's pretty good. I don't have money, and now I'll have money.
Yeah, just make sure you take your credit at the end of this turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that.
Just talking to Andre in the past.
Yeah. So he's gonna, even if I don't take a, yeah, no, I need it ready, you're right. So he can run on that server. He knows I can't res that melange, but there is another piece of ice that we don't know what it is. It may be a data mine, maybe something cheap, ideally something cheap.
Please, something cheap.
Looks like I'm considering it.
Crossing our fingers. Are you bluffing this consideration? Oh, you're not. Okay.
I'm not, but you know what? I should start doing that. I should really start doing that. That's a Yagura, which is going to take the last of the lady breaker. Not lady,
Rex?
sorry.
Is
It's
this
a Rex
Rex
token. Yeah, Rex is criminal. Cujo's the other one. And you're going to spike through that Eli for a draw? Or, yeah, that's a spike. And no res on the Merlin. I don't have a credit to res the Melange, but I knew he was going to get it, so I'm okay with that. So this is also something worth considering. He took a token. Oh, actually, first House of Knives. House of Knives is so good in this idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, House of Knives I would never not play in Chronos.
And do you know what? If I might be mistaken, but I think the spike actually drew him to RDI, and he didn't have time to install it. And then I got to trash it before anything else.
Good for you.
That's exactly what needed to happen, or things could have got really bad really fast. So the thing with these dog counters is, as much as possible, do you try to use them all off the same one, or do you try to spread them off the use? I've generally been spreading because I'm scared of program trashing.
Well, if I have more than one, I will spread them out.
Yeah, you don't want to use
But I won't always
play
them all at once. I won't let my opponent know that I have all this
breaking
ability.
Yeah, right.
I will keep one in hand unless I'm playing against you.
Yeah.
Which would just trash one anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would get rid of it if you don't install it. Looks like I'm going to do a targeted marketing. Well, what am I going to target? I think I have an idea. Yep. So dirty laundry.
Okay.
There's a reason why I did this. It's not because of money, because money really doesn't matter with the suite. It's because there is a future perfect in archives. Oh, he does have a dirty laundry.
And you want to encourage him to run archives.
Yeah, that is my least protected remote, arguably, and I don't want to give him any reason to want to run there. Because as soon as he finds out it's in there, the jig is up.
He's got no reason not to keep running.
Well, there's shocks, but yeah, he knows where the game is more accurately, and he can continue to make runs there. And it looks like he's going to do for a sneak door. I'm now going to res that Galahad. He should have known that to be coming, and that is a 3-credit tax. Or actually, he's going to use a spike. Hey.
Yeah, that's the last spike. Now it's all Corroder. And he doesn't have a lot of money anymore.
No, he doesn't. But he is getting that Desperado money on runs, which is good. He's going to see 2 cards. Pup and Jackson.
Wow.
That is a shame. That was my release valve for archives, if I needed to. But that is gone. And that's the idea, is that if he did use the Corroder, he wouldn't have been able to trash Jackson.
Yeah.
That's huge. That would be a completely different game if I had that Jackson Howard. That's the kind of strength that I saw with the break and enter suite, because I could have chosen not to res that Galahad. No, how would that have helped? No, it wouldn't. But the idea is that I was assuming that if I res the Galahad, that he would use his breaker through it and not his disposable. And he used the disposable, and it's
that was
very
smart.
good.
That was the good idea.
He's running R&D. We did a bit of a goof here. He did use his Crescentus to de-res my what's it called? My Cortex Lock, which is something you can only do if you break all the subs on it.
Yes.
He just passed through it with 6 MU, so nothing fired.
Oh, interesting.
And we just de-rezzed it. We both forgot about that. So fair enough. He does hit a shock, and that is a count siphon down the drain.
I remember this was a very hot day. I think at a certain point, all of us were kind of just sweating and waiting for it to be over.
Oh man, I had a lot of fun with this deck. It needs some work, but man, it's exciting.
I really like the idea of it, and like I said earlier, I think you and I have a really similar philosophy about how to build it. I would also go Grail.
Yeah, if I could change something, I would put in Power Shutdown.
That'd be fun too.
Yeah, it's good. You can get rid of those fairies, the shivs, and eventually the sentries become a problem. Looks like I'm going to install something into that server and take 2 credits. You're pretty sure it's not an agenda. I don't have the money to score next turn, so who cares? Will he check it? He might. He could.
He could.
It's really difficult to check it. I think it's a Jackson though. My money's on Jackson.
Probably, we've only seen the one Jackson so far.
2. One got trashed. One I Jackson down.
Oh, one you've already used. That's right.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to run on there. That is, click through the Eli. The Yagura is going to get the counter. Can't res on Merlin. We both know it. And the Galahad is probably going to get 2 subs. Trash, and that's the full Grail. And it looks like if he wants to break that, he's actually going to clone chip.
Okay.
For
Spike, I guess.
For that Spike.
And Spike's going to draw.
And that's card. 2 card draw. And he has 3 credits to access, which is 4. I didn't expect 4 credits, and that is a Jackson. That's the thing that you expect. Like if he used his Crowder, couldn't have trashed the Jackson. That's right. Twice that happened this game where I don't see that coming. But that's fine.
But at least you used Jackson in the meantime.
I just wanted him to run on that server, and I'm going to do the Jackson. I'm going to pull in an older Jackson, Neural EMP, and I believe the Melange I want back because I want money and a reason for him to run through that again. And hey, thanks, Jackson. Cool. So he has to discard some cards. It looks like the Dirty Laundries are... he's going to throw out some of them.
He is really running low on breakers now.
Yeah, very low on breakers, and he knows it. But with that game point, he just has to be able to get through R&D, have one good run.
Yeah, and he's had so many unlucky runs. He's bound to hit an agenda.
Eventually, he is. He's had he's hit 2 shocks off of single R&D axis, which is pretty unfortunate. Looks like I'm just going to take 5 credits. He's going to take 5 and sure gamble up. And now he has money, but I have money. There's actually a piece of ice I can res now. And
I know that the Lancelot is in front of HQ.
Yeah, the Lancelot is in front of HQ, and he doesn't have a way to break it.
He might inside job it.
Yeah, he would have to inside job it. I think he's out of breakers. He might have a fairy left, might have a shiv left. But I don't know if he remembers that is a thing. He's going to run here. I'm aware that I need 4 credits to res the Lancelot. Because if I can get him with the Lancelot, that can easily be game. So he's going to use a dog token. Oh, actually, okay. Never mind.
This is only going to do 1 net damage. But it's still 1 net damage as Chronos, so...
3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1 net damage as Chronos. I got same old thing, Street Battle, Dirty Laundry. I don't know why I trashed that. I think I...
Would you have gone for same old thing or
same old thing? Yeah,
same old thing.
Oh, he was kind enough to let me redo that. You said that was stupid.
I made a bet. Oh boy! But you have 3.
Yeah, I have 3.
It's exciting.
Oh, this could be the game.
I'm excited.
This is the side game.
I'm gonna say you'll bet 1, he'll bet 1. Putting that in an envelope, sealing it.
I go 2 or 0. I never go 1 when it's game point. Yeah, there you go, 0. Right. Expecting the 0 when it's game point is really hard. Usually I think you'll go for the 2.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Not that I want to give it away, but I almost always play 0 when it's super important.
Yeah, it's a good one. Nobody expects it. Marcus Baddie 0s are really fun. Sneak Door. It's going to be 2 credits or 3 credits and then Desperado back to break through that 3 sub. Oh, I threw that card, but that doesn't matter. And you get 2 accesses. That's a Lancelot. Knew that was there, and an early EMP, which is it's a good card to have at this point in the game. Yeah. 2 cards left in stack.
His deck is very tiny, isn't it?
Yours
is getting down there too. You've got to score soon.
Yes, I do have a Jackson left in the deck.
That's true.
I need to score something, and he knows now what's in my HQ. I'm gonna put a piece of ice on Archives, and this is actually to persuade him to run the other way. I think it's some garbage piece of ice. I don't think it's something particularly good. Yeah. But the idea is that he will
Maybe he's forgotten that's a Lancelot in front of HQ.
It's been a while, but the idea that like you're scared of the new ice. If I've installed that usually when someone installs a piece of ice, you think they did that because it's like the right move at this turn, not just the worst thing. And you know what? He totally forgot about the Lancelot. Yeah. And this Lancelot is actually going to become this Super Lancelot. This is not something that can happen regularly, only late game. And that's...
Wow.
And...
Kudos.
You know the beginning of the game where I said...
Also, great animations on that one.
Oh, thank you. But the beginning of the game where I said that I needed to tax out the breakers and basically get the game state to a point where he can't break anything.
Yep. This is it.
This is it.
And
it took this long and 2 Levi's, and he knows he can't break anything.
Yep.
I also took the sneak door and not the crowbar.
Yeah.
Just because now Cortex Lock is worse. I know he can get through one code gate, but that's fine. That's not going to get him to any server.
But Cortex Lock is not so easy to walk through now.
No, it'll kill him. He has 5 cards left. No, 4 cards left maybe. He knows things are bad. Yeah. I can just take credits.
You can just take credits.
Score an agenda. And I think he understands that what he's gotten himself into. There's no way in. I think he has a Shiv in hand, which is only going to be strength 3. So he can't even break Cortex Lock for one last run on R&D. And he's going to run into this just... this is the...
But...
he understands. This is the end of the game. That's going to be Cortex Lock
and House of Knives
and Yagura.
Everything.
No, this is an honor.
This
is a death by honor.
He's throwing himself on
Yes. Nice. Very nice. Dang, I hope you never have to play a game of attrition against Geist. It takes a long time, and it is a goddamn mess. I want to show him at the end that there was a future perfect in archives. That's asking for a lot to run in there with 2 shocks every turn, but it was worth a shot.
You both played really well, though. You both made good decisions.
Thank you.
And sometimes weird decisions, but I think like your weird decisions were throwing the other person off.
I really like the way that he's building with Geist, and I've always had the problem with Geist not getting my mid game fast enough. So I'm gonna try that idea of using clone chips immediately. Just using things as soon as I get them, because card draw is huge. Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this game. We're gonna have the round 2 where we switch runner and corp. I'm playing Laramie Fisk. Always going to be fun. Future is tomorrow. The universe of tomorrow? Yeah, the
universe is tomorrow.
Yeah,
it sounds like a James Bond film.
You're right. Excellent. Well, hey, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.